Here we go.
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just want it all. Oh, what you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of More Than the Title. I'm your host, as always, Jarrett Thomas, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And we're going to have a good time today. This is a special episode. Shout out to my co-host, my brother, my partner, my cousin,
Double salute.
Chadeo, CEO, your favorite CEO. What's good, baby?
Oh man, you know the motto, man. If it ain't bright, it just ain't right, man. Black
Just
is
saying.
so boring. It ain't just your Marcus. It ain't right, baby. You see the headphones, man. Gotta add color to it.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out to all the fans. Thank you for all the subscribers. If you aren't subscribed, please go to the YouTube page, subscribe to get more content. Also, shout out to our partners at the Live Podcast Network. If you're looking for more content similar to More Than the Title from Black creators, please go download the app and support. Shout out to Angel and the team. And before we begin,
wait. And make sure we say this. We like to give a special thanks to all the guests that have come on before this show. We like to give a very special thanks to you guys and to let you guys know, the supporters, that it's because of the guests that have been so abundant to come on the show, and because of the fan support, we are charting on Apple and constantly going lower and lower. So thank you. We truly appreciate you guys.
That's it. We need the horns, baby. We need where my horns at, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Where my horns. And before we begin and get away our special guests, we're going to have a great time. It is my brother's birthday, so I got to do this.
Happy birthday, homie. For me? Yeah. Happy birthday, homeboy. For me? Yeah. Make a wish.
It ain't gonna be the truth. It ain't gonna be to my brother.
Let me make my wish. Let me make my wish, man. Leo gang.
Leo gang, man.
Leo gang.
I love you, bro, man. I'm once again, I ain't gonna get gooey on you, but I love you, bro. I'm glad and honored to be on this journey with you. You know what I'm saying? We ride until the wheels fall off. So
let's do it, baby.
Anybody, I'm glad it's you, bro.
I appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying?
Another lap around the sun. We made it, baby.
That's what it's about, man. That's love right there.
Yes, sir. Brother. But bro, man, we've got a special guest, man. Let's get into this intro. So this special guest we got right here is a part of Narrative, which is an advertising agency based in New York that's responsible for the special McDonald's trades of Sweetie, Cactus Plant Flea Market, Mariah Carey, BTS, and Travis Scott, as well as executing the annual McDonald's All-American game featuring the top 48 high school basketball players. He also previously worked at Momentum Worldwide, creating events for clients at major cultural events like the Super Bowl, the NBA Draft, Taste of Colorado, the New York Auto Show, and more. You know what I mean? And at his core, he's an advocate for the youth, the community growth, and cultural impact. He's a man of faith, family, and community. He's a Dallas native who's currently in BK, but now he moved to DC. We're going to get into it.
We got to bring him back.
Warm welcome. To my guy, Marcus Gilmore, baby. What's good?
Welcome to the show.
Man,
at least he got on the right hat.
Hey, I'm always listen. First off, I'm a baldy, so you know what I'm saying. Shout out to my ball brothers out there, but the fitted game in New York is top tier. And when I saw this one with the Apple, I was like, oh, that.
Wait, we lost audio for a second.
We lost you, Marcus. He's muted. Can we unmute your mic, Marcus? Your mic's muted. Let me see if we can unmute him.
Yeah, it says we can't unmute it. Might be something.
I'm back.
There you go. There we go. He's back.
There we go. There you go.
All right. Now I can't hear you.
Can't hear us?
Oh, no, my friend.
Not technical difficulties on your birthday.
I'm going to be right back.
All right, cool.
Cool. Well, listen, man, Marcus, first of all, school's in session.
You know what I'm saying? We about to get y'all a show today, y'all.
Because his accolades are crazy. You understand what I'm saying? And to say he can name drop is a minor statement. Like, with all of those celebrities under the belt and all of those things under the belt, that's huge.
Huge.
Yeah, you back,
sir.
baby.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm good. We good.
I ain't gonna say nothing, but that's that Dallas internet.
Nah, man. Nah, I hope that don't happen again. But no, I appreciate you all having me here on the show.
Yeah, man.
It's a pleasure. One, to always share my story in the advertising marketing industry and my journey overall, but also just connect with brothers, man, and how and support you on your journey as you all are supporting me on mine. And so it's definitely I'm appreciative of the platform in general, bro.
We appreciate you. Yeah, we
Absolutely
appreciate
appreciate you, man. It's all about this platform is for us, man. It's to tell the stories of people that like I would have never known you existed. There's a brother on my block right now. It's like, man, there's a brother that looks like me that's doing and working with these big clients and doing amazing work. And this is what it's about, bro. So we appreciate you and we appreciate everything you've done in your career. And let's start off from the beginning, baby. What about your upbringing, man? Tell us about your upbringing, how you got into the industry, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Dallas, Texas, specifically like the DeSoto area where, Von Miller, Earl Spence Jr., we'll talk about that later, but and many other greats that have came out of that city and the city of Dallas, grew up there and, played basketball at Duncanville High School, went on to win a state championship, then went off to college at the University of North Texas, where I worked in television media. And man, it was a great start there in college. Like I kind of grounded myself. I'm a 6-year undergraduate, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't do the 4-year like most people, did the 6 years. But during that time, I really transformed campus. From doing events to I was in a business fraternity on campus. So I really transformed really how people took on professionalism in college. And I'm responsible for a lot of people from internships and things like that. Had my own radio show in college as well. So, man, I was putting in the work super early. But the biggest thing I give my nod to is how the church I went to, I worked in the media section of my church. So, and served there since starting at 8 years old, man. I was pulling cords. We were on TV and radio. So I was pulling cords, filming, doing a lot of the audio for the entire service at the age of 10, 11, 12. All the way up to I was 17 going off to college. So a big part of my journey started there and to my mentors at my church.
That's fire, man. Wow. Shout out to that. What gave you, what made you want to do that at church, bro? What made you want to actually do the media?
Man, truthfully, it was all the young guys that were in my church that were older than me, that were in high school. They were always in suits. They looked fly. And my mentor, who is still my mentor today, Ed Brown, he is the one who paved the way. He owned a foreign car auto shop in Oak Cliff, which is like unheard of. So the Benzes, the Rolls Royce, all that, like they had to come to him to get their car fixed. But he ran that entire shop, and his son, who is one of the most pivotal kind of engineers in the city of Dallas, contributes to kind of the rail system there. They were together all the time, and I just was inspired there. And he would always like coach me every Sunday, like making sure I'm prepared for the world. And that was what that moment was. It was less about, it's not less, not only to the part of contributing to the church, but as well as like preparing me for manhood, always being sharp. Like he would be like, oh, if you don't have a suit, you can't serve today. You can't be, you got to go to the usher board, or you got to go sit somewhere else. But if you want to be on camera, if you want to be behind the camera, you must be in a suit. You must be in a shirt and tie. So all those guys, we all followed that. And so shout out to brother Ed Brown. Like that's anytime I'm in Dallas, I make sure I call him or at least go by and see him.
So shout out to brother Brown.
Yeah, so we could effectively give him the credit as being your first mentor, technically, right? Without you even realizing it, he provided a mentorship for you, right?
Yep, he's 100% one of my first mentors, and there's some other guys like during the summertime, like most people, I go to the local rec center. My mom dropped me off, and I was at basketball camp like all day, and so the guys that were there, a guy named Mark Tolliver. Headache, who he has actually a Netflix special. These guys were instrumental into like manhood, being in the neighborhood, growth overall as a man, as a black man. And then 100% goes to my father, who definitely is the first mentor for me since birth.
Absolutely, man. But shout out to what I got from that, bro. Shout out to the brothers that were willing to do that, right? Because not in every neighborhood and not in every space there is people that like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a big reason why we wanted to start this show, bro. Not everybody has that hand, and we still got to be able to give that out. So it's the fact that you had that, bro, and seeing how pivotal it was in your life and how successful you become as a result of these mentors, bro. It's just kudos to everybody. It takes a village, y'all. It takes a village.
But kudos to him too, because it doesn't matter if you have a mentor if you're not ready to accept what the mentor is saying. You understand what I'm saying?
if you're not receiving, you can't. And I
right.
Today in my time, like if I go to the court, if I go pop out to the court and it's a little kid, like I'll connect with them. And it may not be an exchange of like more than just like, hey, here's a key to the basketball, or like just small things like, hey, do you know how many dots are on the basketball? If you don't know that answer, which I don't remember, but you don't know that answer, it's a challenge to their mindset to think about everything in your life and every moment and every step you have every single day. Like it's so important to be paying attention to details, especially as a black man.
Fact. Shout out to anybody in the listeners who knows how many dots are on the basketball. Put it in the chat because that's insane.
Listen, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing because I was gonna throw your ass under the bus. Like Jarrett is a baller, and he lets everybody know that he's a baller. So I'm gonna say, Jarrett, how many dots on the basketball, Jarrett?
I can tell you how many threes I hit that game. Now I'll light your ass up.
Got a strap on me, you know what I'm saying? Mini game crazy. Like, I stay with it for real.
So let me ask you a question now. So you started, and it's very I want to emphasize what you said also, that you got your start in the church, because a lot of celebrities and very influential people, singers, songwriters, and everything, attribute their start to the church.
100%.
Right? And the foundation that the church, provides to you with the structure and the meetings and stuff like that. So, I want to give a kudos to, whatever church you went to for providing that structure and the ability for, remember, you're 8 years old and you're doing technically a job that somebody more advanced should be doing. They allowed you to do that job and learn. So kudos to the church for even giving you the opportunity and not saying, hey, you're too young, come back when you're 12, 13, because that can happen very quickly with adults, right?
It killed your confidence. It could have
killed your confidence.
It could have.
Absolutely.
I think that's why I give a nod to only my mentor, but also the guys around me, those older guys who were 16, 17. They look like grown men to me, but at that time, they would just be like, oh, Marcus, come on, like help me pull the cords. Like this is the time where the camera, they could take it off the stand and walk around it, but it has a cord on the back. Now today, of course, everything is like digital in some kind of way. But then I'm learning that I'm just that key to them being successful when they're filming is making sure they have enough slack with the cord. And it's every time they move, I move. Like and I'm down on the ground at church, like I'm serving so low that when it's time to rise and I'm visible and anything like that, I don't. It's part of my nature, and I'm not too concerned with it. I'll serve low, I can serve high, and if you need me to serve low again, I can, and I take that as part of my life as well. And that goes back to my career when we talk about that too next.
Fire, bro.
You see what he said? He said, I started low and I worked my way up. That's what he said, right?
That's it, man.
I wasn't given the top spot, right? I wasn't spoon-fed. I was mentored. I started low and I worked my way up. And then now that I'm able to do that, you heard what he said again? I can do it again. You heard what he said? Yeah. I can do it again. I can start low and build back up again. That's huge.
And
that's huge. That's huge.
And this is, and I'll tell this story too. Like, after college, I graduated college. During that time, I started interning for a guy named Tom Joyner. If you don't know, check your stats, check your history books. That is the legend.
Yeah, he's the legend. He's the legend. Yeah.
And his son brought me on to work for his foundation in Dallas, and I worked for his Historically Black Foundation, where he would help HBCUs raise donations. But I served as an intern, but then brought on full-time after college. And then during that time, I was his first kind of digital media social team. Now, when you get out of school, you want a bag. Everybody does. But the direction I went was nonprofit, but at the same time, the exposure was Tom Joyner. Like I'm in the room with Tom Joyner, Ricky Smiley, Sybil Wilkes, then all the celebrities that come in, Erykah Badu, Robin Thicke, they're coming into the room, and all I'm doing, and it sounds bigger now than I think about it, but I'm shooting content with them. I'm writing scripts, I film it, I go back to the room, I edit, put it on social, run ads, and all these things that his son allowed me to do with oversight, but he would like, just try, like whatever you come up with, just try. And that's what I did. And I helped close to $2 million in donations just through social and campaigns. During that time from 2015 all the way to 2014 to 2017, like for HBCUs, like
fire.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, that's starting low and building up. And another turn to the story is like in 2017, I got an opportunity to be a part of an advertising program, which means I quit my job, full-time job, and I joined an apprenticeship where it's 8 months. I don't know if a job is going to come out of this, but my dad during this time, my parents, and I say this all the time, they'll be like, oh, I don't know if that story is true, but they questioned if I should do it. And I told them, listen, like, this is part of the journey. So to leave at 27 when I'm supposed to be doing whatever the supposed to be is for society, I change directions and move to New York, go to Crown Heights and turn up and work for an apprenticeship. Like that's serving, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have a certain type of mindset to think, to work through that. And I did, you know what I mean? And I appreciate that journey so much.
Man, that's super dope for you. First of all, like to be a young brother to identify the opportunity, because once like you said, man, we looking for the bag straight out of college. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was doing BBQ, Starbucks, I was doing all types of shit. And somebody said, yo, you want to do sales for 40K? I said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a wrap from there, bro. But for you to see that opportunity and know what it's going to do long term, and for them to give you that opportunity is insane, brother. And I'm curious, bro, what was the most difficult situation you had while you was dealing with that? Like, what was one of the things that you was like, I'm a young brother, I had to overcome and I had to just figure it out? What was one of those moments?
Hey, it's the ego. It's checking the ego at the door. Because again, remember yourself at 27 and know that, like, all right, all the homies, they got the 401k, they probably have their first kid, they're probably trying to get to the first crib, you know what I'm saying? Like they may do the duplex and things like that. And I'm looking to the left and the right, that's the ego, is like, dang, I ain't doing that. What I'm gonna do? And knowing like, no, I'm going to New York. I got a roommate. Don't matter. Like me and him are great friends now, but it doesn't matter of that's the path. And as I'm on this path, even if I look to the left or the right, not to get distracted and check your ego. Like, yo, this is what God has placed you on. This is a path. So keep your head down. And I did, and I still am in some kind of capacity. But like that is the thing that I had to check, is my ego, and not letting that make me turn back around and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go get another gig where I can make whatever 60K so I can feel better for a short period of time. Why?
So let me ask you a question, because you brought up the homies, right?
Yeah.
So when you grew up and you transitioned into college, did you have a big circle? You know, because now that you're doing the things that you're doing, it's very easy for you to have that support if everybody's kind of doing the same thing, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. So, you know, when you went to college and you started to do these things, what was your circle like, right? Because if it was only 1 or 2 people, then that's different. If it's a bunch of people, then you can have that mixy vibe where it's like it can pull you in 5 different directions.
Man, I'm gonna say this. I'll take your question and break it down like this. Like, at a high school, like I went to a big high school. Duncanville High School is, I mean, your top 5 draft pick just came out of there. Anthony Black, he went to Duncanville. It's a lot of the guys that are on the scene right now, basketball wise. My school had 6,000 people, so like I know a lot of people. I went to University of North Texas. Like my circle grew. Then my core grew a little bit. Now after college, my core shrunk back down.
Right.
Then I moved to New York. I threw parties in Dallas, so it grew back again. And then when I moved, it shrunk back down. And so now it's at a stable place where the guys that are around me and that I have constant communication with, we are either on the same path or they're good for I put value into their life. They put value into mine. Like when I go home to Dallas, I hang out with as many people as I can, but the value exchange has to be equal or we're contributing to each other. It doesn't have to be equal, but I have to be in the right places, and I'm focused on that. And that's just life. My dad told me when I was like 15, he was like, yeah, the people you're around now, they probably won't be around later. I'm like, wait a minute. These are
the bros. What you mean?
This is Jermaine. You know what me and Jermaine done went through? Right. This dark-skinned Jermaine. Right.
But I think too, like as a man, you grow and then you come back. I got homies that from high school and college, like we starting to come back and we have conversations. Our conversations have elevated, and now that allows me to build my circle to to grow again because I need it. I need the community. And you see that, especially after the pandemic, you realize what your community, how valuable they are. Like, just because I know you when we go out, no, I need, how are we contributing to each other all the time? Are we talking about business? Are we talking about family, growing, money? Like, if we're not having those conversations, we don't see the same thing. We're not on the same, we don't have the same vision. And that's okay. Like, that's just life,
Yeah, man.
That's real, bro.
Yeah,
and I'm curious too, because like you said, you moved to New York, bro. Something that I battled with early in my career is being a 21. And you seem like an authentic dude, right? I'm hip hop, I'm culture, I'm street, I'm all the above, right? And I'm also a professional, right? When I got into the tech game, it was culture shock, bro. I'm like, I got the baggy slacks on, the baggy shirt, braids down my back, fam. I don't know what's going on, but I'm selling shit like hotcakes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering for you, what was that shift like for you, and how did you deal with that as far as dealing with playing the game versus being your authentic self and still being able to rise?
Man, this go back to Ed Brown. Like, Ed Brown is an OG, and I can put on, somebody turning up out there.
I'm like, word. That's my bad.
Andrew is real. Like, it is about being flexible, is being adaptable. Like, in the advertising industry, like, there was a pivotal moment, and it happened actually in 2021, where I kind of shifted a little bit more. But I'll talk about this. Like, I can change, right? Like, if we got to go to the gala, I'm ready for the gala. If we go into the park, I go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got the fit for the park, and I can still have the same communication. And it's about being able to switch. And it's not code switching. I'm still going to talk the same, but now I know how to adapt to every single room. And I'm learning more. Like, this move to DC is going to push me to adapt to a political scene. Like, when I step out the door here in DC, there is tech, is politics. So I need to prepare, which in the mornings, instead of listening to some random podcast, I need to know the news. I need to know what exactly is happening. So when I get into the happy hour or I go to an event, I'm part of the conversation, and I'm not like, oh, no, I don't have a point of view on that.
Yeah.
You can't be that way. You have to be adaptable. You have to be able to shift when the environment shifts.
Message.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a real one. Because, for all my people listening, that's what you have to be a chameleon, y'all.
Yep.
Right? It's not changing who you are. Like you said, if you go to the gala, I got my 3-piece on. If I'm going to the office, I know how to act. You got to know how to interact with your coworkers, how to lead a cross-functional teams, right? Yep. Different facets of the business. You have to understand that. And it's not about leaving who you are, but it's about being able to adapt in those situations. I'm glad you said that, bro.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah.
And that's what it's being able to do that.
That's real.
Yeah, let me ask you this, and I know this is a very, very sore spot for people. Yeah. Change is extremely difficult. Now, I've noticed in our conversation that you say you've moved repeatedly. Yeah. And you've said it like, no problem. Do you know how hard it is for people to change? So now you already established in New York, and now to uproot again and now go to Dallas, right? So, what's going through your mind? I know you're at the point where mentally you can understand that I'm going to take on a new role. I might start a little low and I can grow, but still, how is the change weighing on you to say, I'm still moving to a new city technically, right? To get used to a new climate and things of that nature. What's your mind state, when you're going through that?
So, just for correction and just so everybody is aware, I'm from Dallas, moved to New York, then New York to DC. So,
New York to DC. I'm right. New York to DC. Right. New York to DC. Right.
We should have put the clip in here of what is it? What is that show? What's the movie?
So we'll get it right now. Our production team is
right
on
now. Fast. Look. Soon as you spit it out, it might come up on the screen.
Pause. I said pause, nigga.
He said, as soon as it come out, I'm spitting it up on the screen.
Oh, no, I didn't say spit it up on the screen.
It's his birthday. He ain't gonna live.
The movie with Cameron and Paid in Full. And Paid in Full, he's like, DC is it. DC is it.
Right.
So from a mindset standpoint, like, I built a dope community in New York, man. Like, from the advertising scene to the sports, brand partnership. I work in brand partnerships, and then also like I get in the mix too with a lot of the music events that the homies were hosting. So I would be there and I would shoot content. Like, I capture content and share it. I'm really heavy on the reels.
Okay.
So from a mindset standpoint, like there's things that when I moved the second time, like there are things that I have to have around me to make sure that I'm mentally prepared for this new move.
Right.
And one specific, and a couple things, and these are things that I must have from a peace standpoint. Like the basketball court has to be nearby. Like
Okay.
even if I'm not like hooping hard, I got to go out and shoot 50 free throws or just make 50 jumpers because mentally, like that allows me to. I don't know what it is. It's just being trained as an athlete to be able to do those kind of things, and also just I look for peace in the place. So DC is unique. I've been here a few times, but it took me a minute to get acclimated, and I still am. It's only been 2 months, close to it's about to be 3 next month in September.
Right.
So this in September, I'm getting out. Like actually this weekend, I'm gonna start getting out a little bit, get into the mix. I'll go out, and one thing about being able to adapt, I don't have a problem starting a conversation. We need to have, I know how to introduce myself. I know how to talk about anything really. And that's being adaptable, like knowing enough about enough to be ready for any moment. You know what I mean? That's the mindset. It's like, am I scared? Am I nervous? I'm not scared. I'm more like just hesitant a little bit, but God has protected me and he's brought me this far. Like,
heavy in the faith. Heavy in the faith.
Heavy on the faith,
Yeah,
baby. And now, ain't you gonna be down there in DC too soon?
Next week. Next
all right,
week.
so y'all gotta link up.
Marcus, I was about to tell you, like, listen, we getting on the jet in like a week and a half, and we coming down to DC for Dear Summer. So I'm gonna hit you up. Listen, I'm not a ball player, but I got a good pickup game. Don't let Jarrett gas you up, man. I got a good pickup. We can go to LA Fitness and put something on. You know what I mean?
We on outside courts to wintertime, man.
Okay, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
You know nothing about the asphalt.
You know the reason I asked that is because coming from Dallas is culture A. Moving to New York is completely different from Dallas, right? Yep. Now, although DC is close to New York, they have their own identity.
Totally
it's
different.
Another different world. So that's what, you know what I mean? That culture difference is like
it's 100% a culture difference.
Yeah.
One thing that I credit New York to is like every time you step out the door, your fit better be ready.
Yes.
But at the same time, what I learned too is like, and I give a nod to Jarrett. You born and raised New York?
Born and raised in the Bronx.
Bronx, baby.
What I give a credit to is like, when you walk out the door, your mind you got to be locked in. Like you're moving, you get on the train, you got to be aware. Like, and that taught me that hustle. So I understand now why people are intimidated by New Yorkers, but I also see why New Yorkers move the way they do. Because as soon as you step out the door, you got to be, and not ready for danger, but just ready for every single thing. You got to be tracking. And like, that's what I learned. The hustle mentality, the way to talk and adapt, and the way to talk and move. I got that in New York. Like Dallas, we pulling up, we move it, we swing it. You know what I'm saying? We drive faster in Dallas than they do in New York. But I also learned, I love the culture of just hanging out on the street. We sit on the stoop. I stayed in Bed-Stuy, so I could sit on the stoop on Thursday and like kick it and say what's up to the neighbors. And, going to the park, Fort Greene, we pull up, hanging out. We go to the games. Like, I'm up at a Yankee game. I'm at a New York Knicks game. Like, that's a different type of energy. Now in DC, I'm going to explore that, right? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Understanding how everybody else moves. Is it more political or is it more marketing tech? Like, understanding that, I'm excited to embrace that journey. Like, it's part of who I am, and I don't fear it. Again, I'm protected in that way. Like,
he ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
And then do Rico. You're gonna go down there and do the cam, man. Take over DC, baby. But I'm curious too, bro. Because I'm like, I don't know if I told you this, bro, but I used to work for Con Lions.
Yeah,
I used to work for them. So one of my clients was like WPP, Omnicom, Dentsu, and all that. So like momentum is huge.
Yep.
One of the bigger agencies, and like, how did you get that opportunity? And maybe tell us, after that, like one of the biggest campaigns or one of the biggest moments that you've had working at such a accredited agency.
Man, and so after the program I went through, which is called Ad Fellows, so anyone listening that if you have if you're a rising creative or looking to get into the advertising industry, look at the Ad Fellows program. They have amazing partners. I did that for 8 months, and Momentum was my last rotation. So you go to 4 agencies or companies for 6 to 8 weeks, and so Momentum was my last agency. And when I got there, the first project was opening day for the Mets. I said, "Oh, I'm sold. We here." And let me tell you why it was important is because like not opening day where I walk through the regular gate. No, I got a VIP entrance. I'm working with special winners that have won through my client at that time was Verizon. They had won through the app. So I started to learn how brands would use sports sponsorships to push their sales or get people to become brand fans.
Right.
And so that was it. We had like these club seats. Like, oh, bet we get to sign autographs. I get to meet the players and all that. So after that, the end of my rotation, I applied for Momentum. I did not have to do an interview. I can say that now, but I didn't have to do an interview. They picked me. I picked them. I joined the production team as a production coordinator, the lowest spot on the team. Now, I'm 28, so like
back at the bottom.
But in my head, the ego comes back into play. It's like, man, I've been doing this. Like,
right.
I know how to do events, but I didn't know how to. What I didn't realize is at that time, I didn't know how to do it from a large brand perspective.
And connecting the dots.
And say I work for Verizon, like I work on Verizon activations. You better be tight with it because Verizon's a big brand, so everybody knows about them. So that opportunity of Momentum and the team there and that production team gave me. I worked on Major League Soccer, NFL, NBA, and was there for 3 years, man, and moved up the ranks in the production team and got to associate producer where I worked on the Super Bowl in Miami. Imagine staying in Miami for 2 weeks, like, and building a entire dome, basically a NFL dome, and Verizon was pushing 5G at this time. So like that 5G stuff, like everybody wanted to know what was going on, and I get to build an experience around that. And again, it's the same kid, you know what I'm saying? Like pulling chords at church at 8 years old now has made it to doing an activation at Super Bowl. And no, it's definitely a blessing. And definitely a shout out to Momentum. They know I love them over there, so I always show them. Yeah.
But which one of those though, out of all of those, which one, like even the opening day sounds fire, but which one of those that you had to really pinch yourself and be like, damn, this is my job?
I'm going Super Bowl.
Because my job, my experience was not like that.
I'm going Super Bowl.
I'm going Super Bowl, but I'm also going to say like it's Super Bowl from a branding standpoint, like that is the biggest one. I think it was a moment potentially probably at because we had NFL partnerships. I traveled to 3 stadiums in 2 months, putting up the activation, making sure it's ready to go for opening day, like for NFL kickoff, right?
Okay.
So NFL kickoff is like September 10th. So imagine flying to 3 cities, boom, I'm in a stadium, I'm there early in the morning, like getting things together. Boom, I'm out to the next city doing the exact same thing, different setup, like, and again, putting together a product that the world is ready to see, which is 5G at this time. Like being able to do that is that pinch myself moments. Like, oh, I'm operating at a high clip, like, and then and then being able to see that and be able to ground yourself and still, you got to get it done, but like realizing you're moving at a clip that you didn't realize you had in you. And so definitely from an experience standpoint, but definitely Super Bowl, we up, man. I got to see Russell Wilson in person.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
come on,
that's
crazy.
Listen, Super Bowl Sundays is it? Hold on, is it a national? Is it a national holiday? Like
American holiday for sure.
Like it's crazy. Like it's hard to beat that, man.
It's hard, man.
Hard to beat that.
And I think that it was an opportunity. And when I got to a point where it definitely hit that moment of it was time to move on. And I realized in that moment, I knew I needed to shift because I learned a lot of stuff about experiential production and sponsorships and executing them. So imagine that there's steps 1 through 10. Experiential is, and the execution of it is steps 8 through 10 or 7 through 10.
Got you.
I didn't know what was 1 through 7. So now I'm on the account side here at this agency. We Are Social, the narrative group, and I'm on the account side. So I started number 1. We get the brief. I brief the team. I'm building the budgets, like working with everybody, and I still get to work on the creative side of the experience. But now I know 1 through 7, client management, across team management, internal, external.
Yeah, project management.
Watch this. Stuff. Watch this. So I like to do this all the time. So what's your degree in, Marcus?
My degree is radio, television, and film.
Right. So now, did they teach you in college anything that you're doing to work right now? Right. Like
no.
Right. In the 6 years that you dedicated.
No. In the 6 years I dedicated.
Right. In the 6 years that you dedicated to learning to get that stamp. You know what I mean?
No. You know what? I think that I don't what I'm doing now. No. What I picked up along the way in some ways. Yeah. But I actually just completed my master's program from the University of Alabama.
Congratulations.
You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
And so that degree definitely is marketing focus, business analytics, international product development. So still is adding to the wheel. I'm going to be crazy in like 3 years.
Listen, hold on, look. You know what I need, right? I needed that voice sample where Kanye's like, man, my dad was so crazy with degrees, he took my degrees.
Like, man.
That's what's up.
You know, like, going back to the Cannes Lions, like last year was my first time going. I went to Cannes Lions in 2022 with through a program called Cannes Diversity Collective. And it's to take rising talent, Black talent, and multicultural talent to Cannes and experience Cannes in France and get to be a part of that advertising industry. That moment made me increase my phone book, my Rolodex, to become international. Like, to have one that is like New York based, that's one, like, oh, I got people in New York, LA, like Atlanta. A lot of people can't say that. But then being able to say, no, I'm resourceful. We can go to South Africa. We can go to London. We can go to Paris right now, today. And I got numbers I can call and tap in with. And that Cannes Lions opportunity and through Cannes Diversity Collective definitely was that opportunity to be there. And I went there to be an intern. So I went and I would just go and help people come into the space. And then I actually had to do a creative project for Procter & Gamble. And that was my way. But I knew I needed to get there. So whatever way I needed to get there, I was going to apply. I was going to do a video. I got in. So to those listening again, Cannes Diversity Collective applications open in January for December. So you could go to Cannes in May or June of 2024. Look up the program. It is definitely.
And you know what? We know we're going to take it a step further, and we're going to do the research, and Morning the Title is going to supply that link for you. We're gonna do the research. We're gonna do the research, and we promise you that More Than the Title will put up that link for you guys, just in case you can't find it, because that's an amazing opportunity, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you to apply. You might not get it, right? But we want to give it to the masses. I mean, it is what it is, right? Everybody's not gonna get in, right?
Everybody's gonna get it,
right? But we want to just try to make sure the most amount of people have the opportunity to even know about it.
And shout out to Black and Can and all the people out there too, man.
Yep.
Yes, fire. What they're doing, and shout out to Lola, shout out to Walt, shout out to Dre, all my people. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to them.
But one thing that you said that was so important was your value of the relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To being able to have that. And that's why I stress so much for our people, man, to build their personal brand. There's nothing like even how we met, bro. We met on LinkedIn, right? And it was two people. Like, I see you with Walt, I see you with the home team, bro. So it's love. Soon as we talk, that's it. Here's my number, bro. And we just link up. And it's like that, to be able to tap in. We don't know where this conversation. We having a good time right now, but 2-3 years from now, I might have a bag for you, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it goes. So anybody listen, y'all can do it. Work on your brand, develop that, get your relationship. Relationships are currency.
Right.
And only that relationship, but the key to it all is a follow-up game. It is a muscle. It is not a thing. It is a muscle that you have to repeatedly work on. And me and you, like, hey, got the flyer, boom, like I'm just messaging, like I have to follow up. That is one of my superpowers, is being able to follow up, come back to you, and give and continue to have that build that relationship. Because if I message you one time and you never respond, or I don't respond, I've lost the relationship. No, we got to keep chopping it up, because that's the follow-up. Follow-up is key. That's a muscle.
Absolutely.
I gotta add to that. It's not just following up. You have to have some type of value.
Yeah.
What I hate the most, and I'm just putting it out there, I offer people a lot of help, but what I will not do is walk this path for you.
Yep.
Now, I will help you. Like I said, I'll put up the link. I will not click on the link for you. You understand? I will not fill out the application for you. But it's about value. So if I say, hey, Marcus, hey, we developed a relationship, right? And you like, hey, anything I could do, and you open the door right there, right? Anything I could do to help you, my brother. Now, I'm not reaching out to you for bullshit. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
I will not reach out to you because I respect your time and I respect your work ethic until I have something tangible to say, hey, Marcus, this is where I was when you met me. This is where I am now. You can see that I've had some type of movement. Maybe not what I wanted, but you can see I'm working towards progressing something. And now maybe I might need a little bit of help moving forward. Stop asking for empty handouts when you know that you're not putting in the work.
Yeah. It's
Because you can burn a bridge very quickly for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you only get one ask.
You only get one ask.
Yeah,
you
all
can
the time.
only get one ask.
Yeah.
You know?
And what's crazy, you say that, it's like, man, I have like 2 drafts in my email that I want to reach out to pitch for a potential client, like for my agency. And every time I get to the email, it's like, no, this is not ready. The ask is not ready yet. Like,
it is.
I know that they're gonna, if they open, they have to be into it right then and there in some kind of way. And it's like, I want to provide value, right? And I want that value brought back to me in exchange. So you're right about that, man.
Yeah.
No empty handouts at all.
Yeah, bro. But I'm curious, now that we're talking about relationships, right?
Yeah.
What is one of your more valuable relationships, and how have you maintained that? Because to premise it too, bro, I'll give you one of my ones. I had Paxton Baker on the show, bro. He's the chairman of the Washington Nationals. He said some real shit to me. He was like, man, I'm like, how you with Harry Belafonte, you with owners, you with, like, how do you maintain it? He was like, yo, just be the friend that you want to have. And that was one of the realest shit, you know what I mean, that he said. And I was like, and I'm curious to you, like, how do you maintain it, especially being around all these events, Super Bowl, NBA? I'm sure you met many people. So, you know, what are one of those relationships that you value, and how do you maintain?
Man, so I think, like, I'll talk about my peer side, like people that are in the same space as me. It's like my good friend Cal Banks, who is one of the head producers for TDE, Top Dog Entertainment. And we went to high school together. We were roommates in college. And he moved to LA. I was still in Dallas, then I moved to New York. And that relationship starts from a brother standpoint, but then it moved to business, and then it moved to like, yo, we in the same space. Like, hold up, like,
this is fire.
Right.
Fire.
Right.
And that relationship, and there's many others, and I think why I think about him is that we'll tap in, we'll connect it with each other, but yo, this guy, like, and if he comes, when he does his tours with Isaiah Rashad and Ab-Soul, and he's on Dochi's, like, that is the top producer for Top Dog Entertainment. Like, when he moves around, I don't, even when I go to the shows, I'm not trying to be up in his space. Like, yo, let me get a pic with you. Like, I'm chilling.
Cloud chasing, none of that.
Well, he's respecting the value of the relationship.
I'm respecting it, even though he's a brother, and like, we go back all the way back to high school and riding in the same car. It is still like, yo, you're in your workplace. Like, every time if you introduce me to someone, I have a very candid conversation, but I ain't trying to sell you on nothing. Like, I'm just here. I'm here supporting you. So that is a relationship, because it's a friend who has gotten to a place that's super, what do you call it? Like, everybody sees him. So it's super visible relationship. But at the same time, I have to value him as like, yo, you're in a space that I know a lot of people come to you, but our relationship goes deeper than that. So it's, and again, it's Top Dog. Like, this is
yeah, man. Hey,
I don't even know if you go to his Instagram right now, you can be like, oh yeah, that's one of them ones, right? Like, a music industry icon right now. And I know that our relationship is rooted in over time, since, whatever, 17, 19 years old to today. And it matters to be to respect every boundary that he has, but also know that like be honest with someone like that. And so it's about honesty. It's about showing up no matter what is going on in your life, like showing up for that person.
That's it. And it goes back to what Pax said, being a friend that you want to have, right? You wouldn't want him all in your space talking about, yo, this is my guy right here. Yo, what's up for the cloud? I got 100 likes on the send-out.
If a situation requires, if you guys are drinking and you acting silly, then yes. But as he said, like if you're in the workplace, then you have to respect that, man. You know, I think a lot of relationships, they get strained, right? Because people hold on to what you used to be back here, right? So like you said, in high school, we was in the same car. We might have dated the same chick. We not in high school no more, bro. That was 17 years ago, right? You're in a different space. I'm in a different space, right? And if we don't respect each other now in the spaces that we in, you can strain that relationship because you still think we 17.
Yeah.
You understand
that
what I'm
boy potted.
I'm
that
just
boy's
saying,
potted
like,
today.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to respect. Listen, one thing, right? And me and Jarrett had this conversation because we do music and stuff too, right? So I was in the music business before Jarrett because I used to model and stuff like that. And one of the biggest conversations that I used to have with Jarrett before he knew CEOs, before he could say, I know this CEO and this is in my blacklist, right? When I'm like, yo, I know Benzino and I know this when I'm in this studio and I'm going out of town with Murder and I know all these people on first name basis. He used to be like, yo, why you don't do this and why you do that? I'm like, that's not our relationship.
Yeah.
Our relationship is they love me because I don't do that.
Yep.
Right? Because you got to understand that when you're not around, they get bombarded.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's top dog. He can go anywhere and get bombarded. So after a while, the celebrityism becomes a nuance.
Yeah. Yep.
It becomes a nuance. Like you're at dinner with your lady or your family, you can't breathe, you're shopping with your kid, and people are so excited that they don't respect that personal boundary, right? Nope. So now when they're looking for their closest friends to understand, because you're not the fan, even though you can be, and you don't understand, it hits even worse.
Yeah, it does. That's great. That's
great point
right there for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
So yeah.
But I'm also curious, bro. I want to talk about your work, bro, because like I said, being around like TD, the culture, you are the culture, bro. We are culture, all three of us, right? And sometimes getting those ideas and letting brands know how impactful the culture is to do some sort of collaboration. I'm curious, like, how did the Saweetie Cup thing and all those collaborations come about, right? How did you pitch that to the brand?
Yeah, so and we are social, the narrative group, like McDonald's, we work on McDonald's partnerships and experiential. We're their agency of record there, so we do a lot. We do pretty much everything. So specifically, I did not work on Saweetie or Travis Scott at that time because I wasn't at the agency, but definitely was around for Mariah Carey. Cactus Plant Flea Market was part of some of the social content that went out in support of that campaign. Right. But here's the thing, like, and this is why it's super valuable to have conversations like this, is when I am presenting or when I like look at a deck or have to go to the client, I'm always camera on or I'm in person. I let my ideas flow with my creative team or the teams we're partnering with, because I am of the culture in the audience that dictates a lot of what's going on. It's not about a race. It's about what I have built over time, like from a music, from an art, from a fan standpoint. Like that is part of my lifestyle. And so like, it's important for me to carry that over into my conversations at work and being able to say, when I look at a pitch deck, all right, we're missing, change the background image, or we're missing like our why here, or no, I don't think that activation will work. It'll make the celebrity feel like a zoo animal. That's one thing I learned about working on the sports side, is like the athletes, because I know them personally, they don't want to feel like no zoo animal. Like, of course, they got contract obligations, they got to sign some autographs. But if we can do an activation where they get to kind of let their shoulders down, as I just did,
yeah, man,
they'll give you so much value and be like, you'll say, hey, can you just record one more video? And, oh yeah, boom, because you weren't treating them like a contract. You were treating them as a human. So
the human effect. Didn't we talk about this the last episode?
Man,
we got to get back to being human. We got to get back to being human.
Yeah, this past McDonald's All-American game was located in Houston. Some of the biggest names that you have seen, probably DJ Wagner, Jared McCain, who's a freshman at Duke. DJ Wagner's over at Kentucky. I'm blanking on names. Bronny James, of course, was a part of this game. So like, you can see the difference in, first off, they 17, so they ain't
Right.
want to do much. They're very like, they are aware of social, but they also are 17 years old, like boys and girls, so they kind of still move that way. But you can also see how publicly they are still starting to feel that inhumane feeling, like, oh, they just want me to record. So all of our activities from an activation and experience standpoint for not only them and their families was all centered around them letting their sodas down. We dropping fries. We got the hottest DJ. We got Larry Jamel as the host. We have Tolliver performing.
Right.
We giving away shoes. They getting crazy gear, like that allows them to be like, okay, but
Yeah.
you want me to? I'm just gonna be natural.
It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like work.
They feel like, now the McDonald's All-American game, and I'll stand on this, is like still is the premier showcase for top athletes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And top players that across the NBA.
Yeah,
that are in the NBA and WNBA and overseas. And they know that when they come, you still got to come war ready. Like, yo, I'm going to top 40, like top 48 players. Like, no, I got to be war ready to go against, because everybody's paying attention. But at the same time, if you look at the content on the McDonald's All-American channel or Instagram channel, you realize, oh, they chilling, like they having fun. You get the side of them that is hidden because there's so many cameras in their face all the time.
Right.
Our cameras were there to capture them in a way that they wanted to share it. And that was the strategy. Shout out to the Wyden team, Bodega team. They really lean into that. And us from the Narrative Group, Experiential, we definitely do that as well. Like, make sure they are feeling legit, you know? And man, this year I was able to get Brandon Jennings to come out to one of our activations, and Janiyah Barker and some other WNBA players. Like, and this is in a community. Like, and you go in my stories of who I am, like, community is always at the key. So they're like, Marcus, do you want to do the activations for the city of Houston?
Absolutely.
That's not even a question.
One, I'm from Dallas, so
right.
Texas had like,
right.
Call a homie who is a videographer. I'm finna bring in, like, I literally did that. Go back to that Rolodex, like, yo, I need you here. You're the best photographer. You're the best videographer. The DJ, like, that's the homie. I used to have her DJ like my alumni events in college. Like, hey, you need to be the special guest DJ the entire weekend.
Crazy.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
crazy.
Marks, you want to do it? Yes. So it's going back to serving the community and giving impact and driving culture in the city through now the corporate side of brand partnerships, and really advocating those dollars to put other people on and create spaces for those individuals and communities. And that's something that's super important to me. Like, and I won't ever let that go at all.
That's fire, bro. But one thing that you said, going back to the human element of it, bro, and in the back, that's where content is going to evolve to. There's not going to be, I don't think there's not going to be much of program. That's why independent content like this, and this is the reason why we're coming up with this, right? You're not going to come. You're going to come on this show exactly being you, because this is the environment. We just being us. We just shooting the shit like we would at a bar. We just press live. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a different conversation that you would have versus ad week.
Yeah, ad week is one. My agency would definitely be sending me some key points, but even for this, like, I let them know, like, yo, I'm going on live, or I'm doing a live, like, just letting you know, because at the same time, I also am preparing myself and them for that I'm visible a lot, and so I'm always preparing for that, and to move in that way, like a Damon John or Steve Harvey, who I'm super inspired by. I take on that same mindset of like, okay, you got to be prepared. Do you have your notes? Do you got your key talking points? I have everything in that same mindset. But you're right, we call me because we can cook up.
We got ad week. Call us all. Ad week.
Hey, basically call us all.
Team over there, man, because I know ad week. Talk on ad. We got the organic LinkedIn thing. You know what I mean?
Shameless plug.
Hit us up, man. We got talent here.
But here's the thing, that what I love about what you all are doing and why I was super excited for being here is, like, this is a LinkedIn Live, and the algorithm will push content like this, because when I went to Cannes this year, I went up to someone at LinkedIn and I was like, hey, I didn't see any consumer experiences around your LinkedIn Live or your content.
Yeah.
But you want people on the platform outside of posting job updates. This is how. It's very strategic content that is centered around business and life and things that people can take away today.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is what they need. So that's why I'm like, yo, LinkedIn Live, bet. I hit share so many times.
I really appreciate you, bro.
We love that.
I
We
love
love
LinkedIn,
that.
and that's my thing, man. They need to see more of us, bro.
Yeah.
Like I went down to LinkedIn, right? And I'll share with everybody. Like I went down to
That was
LinkedIn
like 2 weeks ago, right?
No, like a month ago, right? So
Okay.
a bunch of black creators, a bunch of just creators in general, right? So we're in a room and they're trying to get feedback from us, right? And I'm like, I'm looking at this shit. We all looking at each other. It's like, yo, what are we doing here? Like, I just came to meet y'all, to be real. You know what I'm saying? Get my picture about a LinkedIn sign. So, like, if you guys are going to come and bring in all of these minds, all of this different talent in a room to get feedback, you need to treat us like the talent that we are, right? Why not have the people that actually care about the platform, the people that actually change their lives? LinkedIn changed my career, bro.
Yeah.
Changed my career. So as passionate as I am about it, why not have me come in and tell you what exactly we need from a creative perspective? What our audience is seeking? How can we actually increase engagement on different things? Like, why can't I see specific analytics on who's joining my LinkedIn Live?
Right.
Yeah.
We get 400 viewers. I can't see who the 400 viewers are. Right. What are you talking about?
Right.
It's stuff like that. Like as you said, LinkedIn changed your life. Like I feel the exact same. And the way I use it now is like my content. It used to be very tailored. It used to be like, well, I don't want to say the wrong thing. No, like if I go to an activation and I think it's dope, I'm gonna write this activation was dope. Here is why. I used to be like, oh, it looks I'm going to speak like if you met me, I'm going to talk the exact same way. And again, it's not code switching. It's like I want to share with you my natural thoughts and my raw thoughts. Definitely, I'm going to make sure it sound correct. But like you're going to get the real reaction to things. And that's what LinkedIn can be and will continue to be, is a place for that. But they definitely have to lean into like the creator side and bring it there. So.
And the shit that pops on LinkedIn is the real. It's the shit that nobody wants to say that somebody said, and we're like, oh shit, you said it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you see with 5,000 likes.
Well, or not only that, or does. Remember, what you did was the real. You came and sat on your couch, not in a suit, not scripted, and you said, hey man, this is what my day is like. This is what a guy from the Bronx is going through, and look at where it got you. So I agree to that. I want to sidestep though, Marcus. All right, we hear the business shit, right? I love all that. Let's get to the personal, right? Like, so you've done these amazing things, right? But what does Marcus like to, so this is like, I'm gonna throw it out there like this, right? Whenever you work hard for something and you achieve it, you always want to celebrate. Give yourself a little pat on the back and say, listen, I did this degree, I'm going to party, right? Or, I did this, I'm gonna go buy these sneakers. So what is one of the things that Marcus likes to do when like when you did the Super Bowl? Don't tell me you did the Super Bowl and you didn't buy yourself something. Don't tell me that. Like don't tell me right. Don't tell me you didn't go down to Salt Bay Restaurant and spend like $1,000 on a 24-karat gold steak. What does Marcus like to do to celebrate his accomplishments? Because you're working hard, brother. So I want to know, what do you like to do to celebrate?
Man, so it's definitely the material things of definitely the hats, the kicks.
Okay.
I travel.
You a big sneakerhead? Big sneakerhead?
I have New York made me one.
Need good feet out here.
You gotta have good feet out here.
What are you wearing? Like, it's taking trips. And truly, like sometimes it's resetting with family. Like I spend a lot of when I get a chance, like it's spending time with my sister, my parents, but definitely hitting the trips. Like I did a group trip in May, so like, and that was a big thing. Then I went off to France for Cannes Lions. So like to use that part of celebration, like I'm turning up. I'm gonna make sure I have a good time, although I'm working. So I use different moments to celebrate. And acknowledge my accomplishments, like, and I hang my hat on them and then I keep moving, but at the same time I do celebrate. It is not anything that I take as an easy, like, oh, that was nothing. Those are big deals for me. And it's important to acknowledge that 100%. And I still do it to this day. I'm excited about what's to come later this fall for me. And I'm definitely going to celebrate big at the end of the year.
That's what I'm talking about.
As you should.
There it is. There it is.
You should.
There it is.
You should, my guy. Yo,
he likes the vacations. They don't hurt. I love the vacations.
Memories.
You know,
but when you can do it for your job too,
that's what I'm telling.
That's what people from where we from wouldn't understand. They're like, yo, bro, you in England? You in London? You in here?
When you go on a work trip,
yeah,
it's a work trip hack. Depending on what industry you're in, but if you have to travel for work and that is taken care of from a budget perspective, because you have to be there, always add a day for yourself. Right. Even if it's a couple hours and make your flight a little bit later so you can spend time at the pool or go out and explore or do those things or go check out a restaurant, always do that, because like that is the only way you can continue to see the world if your job allows you to do that. And if it doesn't, use your PTO. I don't understand why we be holding on to PTO, but like do those things, you know what I mean?
Facts, man.
It's programming.
Yeah, absolutely. So so for me, bro, I had that moment when I was like 26, 27, bro, when I was working for a company before actually it was after con. I was working for an agency and they sent me out to France, bro. Sent me out to France and I'm at the Louvre with the black card, the company black card, and I'm sitting there like, holy shit, drinking 4 beers outside the Louvre. What was that moment for you, bro? Dude, what was your favorite work trip? And
my favorite work trip is probably, it's truly been lately the trips to definitely Miami's trips, but Chicago as well. Like Chicago summer trips because McDonald's is there, but I get to explore Chicago. I didn't really get to understand it, and the negativity around Chicago during that time, like we all know about that period, like mindset about it. But when I get there, I'm like, wait a minute, the food is bomb. I go to the games, went to the Cubs game for the first time recently. Like it's it's finding those moments for sure in the cities that you don't expect. Like I had a good time in Denver when I went. Like I went for
Denver. I heard Denver's dope.
Like
Denver's cold as shit, bro.
I heard it's dope. I was gonna ask you about Chicago, shit. Bro. Did you go to O Block? Did you do shit like that? Yeah. I'm the type of person, I gotta go to O Block. I gotta see this shit.
Yeah.
I was one street. I was one street over the activations that we did for the McDonald's All-American game in Chicago. We took a food truck bus around to different cities and went to community centers. So one of the schools was definitely in that area. I think I was like 2 streets over. That was close enough for me. Hey man, like you respect it and you're like, okay, like, now I've seen what they're talking about, but at the same time, like I just know like
that's not for me.
Did you see the Jordan don't they got a Jordan statue in Chicago?
Oh, right out the United Center.
Right.
Is it still United?
Is it still that? Did you get a chance to see that?
100%.
Okay.
Anytime, and I'm a big sports fanatic, like on every sport so far, like except hockey. But anytime I can see memorable moments or that kind of like these places that are raised to a stature, like I go check out everything from definitely Staples Center or Crypto, whatever it's called now, seeing all the statues there. I've been to the what's the arena in LA that they played? That used to be the Olympics. Forgot the name, but
the Coliseum.
Coliseum. I've been there. Like I've been to a lot of places. One because of the sports work I used to do, but also part of my travel. I add like a game to every place I go to.
That's great. They got to, bro.
That's another thing I ball out on too. Like I will buy the seat that I want. Like grew up with, you know what I'm saying, my dad, we get to the game, we up there, and then my dad knew the homie, and he'd be like, all right, we gonna finesse all the way down. So when I went with friends and we like buy a regular ticket, I'm like, man, we just finesse down, just act like you be there. And he'd be like, no, you don't do that. I'm like, from a kid, I've been doing that, so this. But that is something that I buy now. It's like, I buy the ticket for where I want to sit. If it has club access, I've been introduced to that through work. So like, I want that now. And if that's whatever that costs, I'm gonna get it. Like, and I need, that's part of things I splurge on now for sure.
Do you save those tickets like memorabilia? Do you have like a little box or something that you?
I have not every ticket, but like I have memorabilia kind of ticket things that
I got that Super Bowl ticket.
I definitely have a Super Bowl ticket.
I need that. You gotta have that.
And I have a McDonald's All-American, my first McDonald's All-American. Like
gotcha.
Some of the projects like that, I definitely case up.
You know what are you documenting all this shit as you go through it, bro? Because as you're thinking about that, like as you're at the McDonald All-American games, right? 10, 15 years from now, when you're running the industry, bro, what is your doc gonna look like? You know what I'm saying?
My doc is crazy. You can look at my YouTube channels now, my Instagram channels now. Like that content definitely is there. My Super Bowl from I did like a 7-minute vlog there. So definitely always capturing content. My coworkers, they always are like, oh, they're gonna mark us with the content. I'm like, yeah, you hating? Which they just, you know what I'm saying? They just messing with me, but they enjoy watching it, and they're like, dang, that's how you capture it. And what's crazy is that now when I do at our agency, we have to do weekly presentations. Everybody has to do them. Well, my first one was a Cannes Lions one. And so I just took my vlogs, cut them up, and made it part of my presentation. And I, told about the work that I saw, but then they saw my vlogs. And I have another one that I'm gonna do in September from this year. It's gonna be vlogs plus the work that I saw at Cannes. So I make that a part of my experience, but it also, I've learned that the agency values that. They value that I capture the content because they can use it for other employment resources. It helps drive awareness for the business, drives awareness for the agency to recruit other people. So I see it that way too. Like, yo, this is Marcus on site at McDonald's All-American. Boom. And my content goes, and I'm okay with that. That's my journey.
Oh, we're in a good place right now, and I'm glad you said that. Now let's get real, bro. We're in a good place right now because you said that with the content, and I worked for the same spots, bro. So I was doing over 2 million impressions a year, right? And the brand would obviously, share me on stuff and all that. They would both take advantage of each other's visibility, right? 100%. What do you think is the value of that UGC that you're creating, right? Because you have a set salary or whatever the case may be, but you're also helping in other facets of the business. Mm-hmm. How do you value that? And do you think you should be compensated extra for that?
I think that the only time that I feel like I should be compensated extra is when I get a brief to do something for them specifically.
Got it. Okay.
If you pay for me to fly to, I go to an activation next week or the week after for something for work, and you're paying me to go there, you're paying me my salary, you're taking care of everything. If I shoot content and it's for me, I'll shoot content that can be I'll share it with the head of social and PR and be like, hey, this is dope. I'll tag and make sure we can flip it because they, in some kind of way, they are compensating me to just be doing visibility work. You know what I'm saying? The visibility. I can say that, I work on this specific project. Dope. And that's where I'm at today. Now, will I say that in 6 to 8 months? I don't think so. I think that now I will position myself in the future, and depending on how things go, but share where it's okay, let's do a brief or something and use me as a contractor. But legally, I don't know if they can do that. But they gave me a spot bonus on because, hey, you did some dope content for us that really drove the business. I bet, I'll take it. But it's nothing for me to. Today, I don't see myself raising my hand and flagging that because it's not necessary. Sometimes I just fly where I fly, and take the things. I move a certain way, so I'd rather keep valuing that than trying to jump on the content. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And the only reason I asked that, bro, because it's not even just the content you're producing; it's because you are you.
Yeah.
Right. Straight up and down. You've got a source. You know what I'm saying? We are who we are, right? If I go to a conference, I'll give you I won't give you the long story, but I'm at a conference for a company and I was in there deciding, should I go with the fucking business casual look or should I go with the Jarrett with the hat and the hoodie? Because that's who people know, right? So if I go there with some fucking cognacs, they're gonna look at me like, yo, Jarrett, I knew that shit was fake. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want that, right? So I went down there with Jordans and all that, everything was normal. I got more traction and conversations from my fit and the drip versus what the actual product was, because the product, we already know what the company is. You know what we do. If you want to talk to us, you will talk to us, right? By the second day, it was a sneaker war. So it's the value of that and what that drives, bro. For some 21-year-old to say, yo, bro, I could be at the Super Bowl. I can be at the NBA. I could be at the McDonald's All-Star game. That look is more important than anything.
100%. I value those experiences and those moments in the rooms that I get to be placed in, and the way my voice is valued in the space. When I step into a room and it's time to me to address a room about, let's say we're walking through a venue and I need to talk about a space, everybody they will stop and just look at me and listen. I value that moment and being able to guide us and make sure we have something dope versus like trying to get them off the content. But I know that like the moment is going to come where the content is going to drive the next opportunity in life. Like, yo, we saw this video, we saw this content. Tell us more. How can we partner with you? Can we come through? Like, I do consulting outside of my 9 to 5. So like, how can we work with you there? And all of those things are those are opportunities. But I always definitely shake the hand of my job because they are creating that. They're giving me the alley. Now I could just keep it, chill. Just go to work, be a regular guy, send the emails, boom, and chill. No content. But that's not me.
But you're windmilling it. And you're sitting there doing it from the free throw. Zach LaVine in this thing.
Yeah. I'm glad y'all said that because that leads into my next question. So here we go. We're going left. We're going left. We're going left, right? So after you have now developed a name for yourself, because this happens, right? Now people know who Marcus is. They respect your work ethic. They see your content. They know where you're going. Has anybody tried to poach you yet? Has anybody, you know what I'm saying, slid in that DM like, yo, Mark, let me take this meeting. Why don't you take this meeting with your boy?
Shit.
I mean, you ain't got to name names, but don't act like it doesn't happen because at that level of work, somebody has got to be paying attention to you.
Eyes are always on you.
Eyes are on you.
Eyes are always on me. And one thing that I know from definitely people like a Tom Joyner and the high level kind of people and business people, you always take a meeting if you need it, if it's valuable, and you can always introduce yourself. That's what I do. Like if there's a meeting that needs to be had, I'm gonna introduce myself because it may come back around. But have I been poached yet? No, we chilling. You got
happy right now. Everything is good, man. You know, they treat you right.
Right. But here's the thing, like on the resume, if that still matters to people, like it says McDonald's today.
Okay. And that's gold.
On every block, you turn around, on every block there's the golden arches, and that's what I am standing on, and is being able to do their activations and partnerships. Like that's real. Like that's real communities. I'm calling community service because they have so many. They have the most real estate in the U.S. and in the world from a quick service restaurant perspective. Yeah, like being able to be a part of that and be a part of that family. But again, huge. Call me. I'm gonna answer. I'm like, yo,
yeah.
Even in like friendly conversations, because guess what? You develop relationships with people, right? But don't think that people are not developing relationships with you.
100%.
Okay, so and look, they might know you're going to a happy hour mixer or something. You know what I'm saying? Like we get there, we laugh, get you a couple drinks. Like, yo, Mark, man, you happy over there? you know, they treating you right over there.
We are socials definitely holding it down for me. Yeah, so I'm excited.
That's good.
And one thing that I value too is like my leadership is they keep the door open.
That's important.
That's very important. Yeah.
The founder, Jackie, before I got to the agency, I would call her every day, be like, because I found out her agency ran the Travis Scott. I'm like, I heard y'all did Travis Scott. Like, how can I get on at the company? Give me the runaround, hang up. And we talked about this story before too. And I called her again. It was like, hey, like, what's up? What's going on? Fast forward, I get on at the job and we're out one night and she's like, I didn't know if you was like really about that before I met you. I'm like, that's all right now, but now she knows, and that's the value of our relationship,
right?
And, as well as my other the president of the agency, Rebecca. Like they value my conversation, they value what I bring, and I value that they keep the door open for me to continue to push and grow us, but also grow myself. So
that's super dope. What was the relationship like for you to be able to make the call?
Right.
Follow up
game, gotcha.
I sent her a message. One day I'm gonna find this and just print it and put it on a t-shirt and wear it to a meeting. But like,
dope.
I reached out to her. She responded, gave me her number. I would call. She really didn't answer that much. But then eventually she did. And the turnaround time was so fast to get on at the company that I was nervous. I got scared. This is a moment of being scared and hesitancy. But like, I was like, man, I don't know. It's too early. They came back too fast. They gave the $2. it's higher than what I expected. So like, is it real? And at that time, it's like, wait a minute, you kept calling her. Why are you scared now? Like, she answered and she's trying to give you the bag to come over there. Now, why are you scared? And definitely, she sold me on working on the McDonald's All-American game. So it's go time after that. Like,
game over.
One thing that I want to talk about too is like, as an athlete going out of high school, I didn't play college basketball, but I still work in sports. So to those out there that like feel, all right, I didn't make it in the sports space, there's avenues. You can work in sponsorships. You can work in talent partnerships. You can do other things around the sport business and still be in the sports scene. I can go to any NBA game, still have that experience, or NFL or Major League Soccer, WNBA, and know that I've built a relationship with talent management. I can call players talent managers today of the top players and pull up if I need to. There's nothing, again, to go back to the relationship. Right. I don't need that, but I still ball, but like, I didn't go through the ringer of playing basketball. I went a different route, and I still show up to NBA draft and working with Donovan Mitchell during his first kind of Verizon partnership. And I have a picture of that, like his first Verizon partnership, him and some of the other rookies that year, like, what is his name? I'm forgetting it. But like, that's that moment where you're like, oh, I went another route and I'm still
where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You're still in the mix. You're still in the mix.
I
Absolutely.
work with the NBA, like on a consistent basis. So you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. It's other journeys, and that's what's great about the advertising marketing industry, but also just trust the path that you're on right now.
Right.
That's
okay,
it, bro.
So you said path, so here we go. You know what's coming, right? So leadership is leaving the door open. Leadership is leaving the door open. They're encouraging you to be you and not only build a company, but build yourself.
Yep.
You're building yourself. Now, what's Marcus's mountaintop, right? Where do you see yourself? What's your 5-year goal? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What does Marcus want to be?
Yeah, it's really the next 3, closer to that.
Okay.
It is one, going to be able to be a chief experience officer for a major brand, specifically in like the sports tech space. So being able to take a brand's like focus from experiential advertising, consumer experience. Like if you go to an arena, let's say you go to Madison Square Garden, like I want to be able to lead I'm just using them hypothetical, but like Dale's sports sponsorship space and be able to make sure that computers are involved, it's community engagement, they have experience with the players, like all of these touch points are bringing value not only to Madison Square, New York, and to the brand, but also to the community connector that is inside there. So chief experience officer, definitely the next 3 to 5 years. And if I don't hit that, I'll fall on something even doper, because when you reach for the moon, the stars is right there too. So,
yeah, shoot for the stars, land on the cloud. Yo, you know what I'm saying? And I want to introduce you to my guest too, Brett Hyman. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he owns a company called Experience NVE.
NVE.
Oh yeah, I know about NVE. Yeah.
NVE. So we had the owner on. That's our guy. When he comes to New York, when he comes to New York, we're gonna rock out, bro. But I want to introduce you to him. He said something crazy about experiential, and it was just like, create a transformative experience. I'm gonna send you the clip. And it was the way he broke down each experience. He was like, hey, it was an okay experience. Like you getting a cup of coffee is an experience, but then there's you having the best cup of coffee in your life, right? Then there's this, and it was the way he broke it down, bro. Like I've got to send you that clip, and I got to
watch this. Not only did we connect with him, but he just did an experience that one of Jarrett's friends went to, and they did the experience. Was it the Ninja Turtle one? The Ninja Turtle one, right? Yep. So they did the Ninja Turtle experience, and one of Jarrett's friends was, I love this thing. And Jarrett's like, yeah, I know the guy that did that.
but being able to screenshot it and send it to him, like, yo, bro, this is super dope. Like, we just talked to you last week and all that. He was like, yo, it's super dope. But being able to have those experiences, so if anybody listening, Like I don't know if you guys know the story of the Clarence Avon, and rest in peace to the Godfather.
Clarence.
He passed away, but there's so much value in being able to connect the dots. Just like right now, I'm like, yo, Marcus, I gotta introduce you to brand. I don't know what it is, but I respect you both to know that you both know your shit. And if you have a conversation, something is gonna pop up.
100%. I know.
Do I want any credit for that? No, absolutely not. But it'll come back around. It's all about being genuine.
Even if it doesn't pop off at this moment, with those two type of creative minds, once you open the door, the possibility is always there.
Endless.
Always.
And it's about making those connections.
Yes.
And because, why not is my thing. Just real simple. Like, why not?
Why not?
If we know him and they both do the same thing and they're both dope, why not introduce them to each other? Absolutely.
But one thing, as you said, and shout out to Andrew, man, thanks for tuning in, bro. He said that's an awesome goal, Marcus. Yeah. As you ascend to become the chief experience officer, right? One thing that Walt said that was so real to me, he said it's on season 1. He said white men negotiate for money, black men negotiate. No, so white men negotiate for power, black men negotiate for money.
Right.
Yep. So that was one of the realest things. So as you ascend, just keep that in mind, brother, because you have so much value in who you are, what you bring to the table, the experiences that make you who you are, that make you more than a title, bro. And you have to bring that to the table in every step that you walk with. So if you don't get anything from us, brother, just remember that in the back of your mind, the content that you're doing, the relationships you have, all that shit is a cost, man. All that shit is a value. And just make sure you negotiate that and make sure that you get your full value, brother, because it's a lot.
And what's crazy is that, and I appreciate you saying that, when you asked me the question just now, I was like, that needs to be a part of whatever I decide to do. Like, that always needs to be included in there because it is a natural habitat that I go into or a natural thing that I do.
Right.
And again, negotiating for power, and it's less about the dollar. Like, the dollar always gonna come. Like, I've been blessed, and so I'm not. There's a shift that happens. There's like, oh no, I want more power of something, and not to abuse it, but to use it. Again, my extent is community. So like being able to touch more people and bring them into a brand or give them more experiences. Like, but what you said earlier, I definitely heard it and was like, oh, that's
it's real, bro. What's the point of making $300,000 a year in tech if it could go like that? If you can't have a say in the room, if you can't have say on the execution, if it's not something I believe in my heart that we're doing the right thing, what does that matter, man? I've chased the bag. We all have.
The money is good, but the power is
better. Hold on, we're not just gonna skip over that. He just said I make.
Oh no, go ahead.
And that's it. Like, now 300,000, you get 300,000, and you're not being able to speak in the room. Man, that's tough.
It's not. No, it's not. It happens every single day. It happens every single day. There's a lot of people right now that make $300,000, and your job title is just not a decision maker. You know what it is, right? Yeah. You can be. There's a lot of Jarrett. You're in the sales field. You can't tell me that there's not a lot of people that make that kind of money that are not decision makers. You can come into the room and show your stats, but then you shut the fuck up.
You gotta wait.
I think it's different in sales. In sales, you have a little more power because you're generating the revenue. If you're in a function like marketing, where it's hard to actually attach a KPI or a revenue metric to what you do, it's very hard to go in the room with making 300,000 and say, "Hey, I believe in this." You literally kind of got to put your job on the line in certain scenarios.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you want to do that? Some people are willing to. Some people are, and that's why it's so bland and vanilla when you get in the marketing space. That's why it's less risk taking. That's why it's bullshit ass campaigns. And when you see something like the Saweetie one or something fire, like, you know what I mean? Like the Travis Scott joints.
I love
Cardi
marketing.
The Big Mac shoot they did, the Offset, that's fire.
Listen.
Have your brother in the room like, nah,
let me tell you something. I want to, if I'm wrong, then you tell me right now. There have been some marketing campaigns that have changed your life. Like, you've seen some marketing campaigns that you're like, holy shit, whoever thought of this is an absolute genius, and it just changes your life. Like,
so name one word. What's your favorites?
My favorite is the Budweiser, the Super Bowl Budweiser Bud Wide Urge. I'm being honest, like, it's classic. Like, the Budweiser's, like, it sticks with you. Like,
you know, the other, like, shout out to Jimmy. He is a legend in the advertising industry and really marketing in general. But definitely some of the later Gatorade, as well as the LeBron James training in the pool, like him bringing out it, and then the Scottie Pippen. I'm not Scottie Pippen.
Remember they had Michael Jordan for a while. You know, Gatorade.
So I think like it's Spike Lee. Like, I don't even understand why people, and they do because he has his own agency. But like, you gotta give a head nod to how he transforms how they tell stories, commercials, and things like that. I think from an activation standpoint, like, it's been like when you see experiential and you see sponsorships and you go to events like, oh, State Farm is the
State Farm is the OG.
Shout to Marcus Collins.
What is it? Chris Paul.
Dr. Collins.
Chris Paul.
I met
Cliff Paul.
I just met him at Cannes, and I was like, almost in awe. I was like, what up? You know what I'm saying? Like, because he just put out his book and everything. He's doing.
He's a beast. Shout out to Dr. Collins. And he created Cliff Paul.
Yeah.
You didn't know he created?
You didn't know that? Yeah.
Yeah, he gave us the story, bro. We talked. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He's a beast, man. Much love to that brother, man.
Yeah. Like
that's his project.
That is one of the that is definitely top 10 right now in the last, I say 10 years is the State Farm run and
him and Flo because we had Mary Webb. We had Mary Webb on the show, and she created Flo. She created Flo from Progressive.
It's just crazy for me, bro. I think one of my favorite ones. First of all, shout out on whoever's doing the radio shit for that car commercial. Yo, if God can't approve you, nobody. You like, all right.
Where's that? I never heard that one. Wait, I never heard that.
Whoever that dude is for that corny ass commercial that's on the radio.
I never even heard that one.
He said, yo, it's some car company. He's like, yo, if you come in here, you wanted a Honda, you leave out with a Benz. We can approve you. If we can't approve you, God can't. What the fuck? I'm ready to go to get Benz right now with a 430 credit.
Listen, that's you know he used to work for Major World. That was Major World's slogan for years. Listen, Marcus, you was in New York. Major World Auto had those kind of commercials. They had like 5 lots, and they're like, if you can't leave with a fucking car from Major World,
Local one. What other really good ones? What's like a really?
No, listen. Let's talk Verizon. The Can You Hear Me Now? The Can You Hear Me Now was a 10-year run. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The Can You Hear Me Now was phenomenal. Phenomenal. 10 years easily.
What's crazy is like, and this is why I think that like I like that I'm the diversity of work that I've been able to be a part of. You see a brand like Verizon, and they're super clean on how they do things and look at their backdrops, and even if you walk into a store. But that commercial and just how it was designed and set up and how they built that person, they're one of the first kind of reoccurring personality commercials. Of course, what's my guy from
Subway?
Yeah.
He's nasty now. He's nasty.
Well, he is. I'm just saying. But as far but as far as like a personality, they built him. They built him.
Sure.
Yeah.
He had he's the dad from I can't remember. I hate when I draw blanks on stuff.
What's the campaign? You know the company?
What company?
He had the car commercial before Jamie Foxx, but he's Allstate. What's the Allstate guy?
The dude from Love and Basketball who was
he was the father. The army dude who's always the father. He talks like this. He talks like this. Yeah, his voice is always like this.
You think about personality brand commercials. He's in one, of course. Progressive Flow, Cliff, Verizon, like they all too.
Major World. I tell you, Major World.
Man, I think that's where the brands definitely have like excelled is being able to find that personality to lean in every single time. Like
even the new guy, I love him to death. What's his name? Mr. Disaster or some shit. Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem. Yeah. No, nobody. You run into mayhem like me. He put his lipstick on while he driving, running into cars. Crazy.
The other one too, the Geico one, where you try not to be your parents.
That
the doctor, whatever his name is.
Yeah. No, like, what's crazy is they're just selling insurance, right? Like whoever, when you think about it, and we definitely have to contribute to or give a nod to Dr. Collins, but like taking insurance, which is so boring and so, but people need it for life. Everybody needs insurance. I'm going to say that like to have it is a blessing, but to be able to take that and then deliver it to consumers in a way that they can take it and be excited or even just aware and learn about it. Like the commercials have contributed that, all of them. Progressive,
absolutely.
All of those brands have
to the culture.
And you, like you said, if they walk outside and you see them and they pull up to an event and you see all of these characters in one space, you're like, oh, you from Flow, and you know they have their own personality, and that's a nod to the industry 100%.
100%.
Entertainment value, man. And plus, it's hard with insurance, like insurance and banking, because they're They're regulated. You got to be so specific. Like your brief, it'll be like you'll make something really creative that people love, and you can't say this, and the third. You're like, God, what in it? What can I say?
What can I say?
What can I do?
You
and
know,
then be able to turn that out of it. But the only thing is, and the conversation we had with Mary Webb, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious to get your take, bro. I know we get on 1:30, so we're gonna wrap it up soon. But what is your take on creating something like Flow, Cliff Paul? I know as an agency, right? You sign the brief, whatever you are, you're the AOR, you're delivering that campaign, right? But if I create something like Flow that gives you 20 or 100x value on what you paid, I think I should still be compensated in some sort of way, and not just off of, hey, I created it. But what do you think, bro? Because it's
I
not
think
like
that like when and this is more into the business side, but like I think that if an agency is able to come up with something like that, one, we got to sign the dotted line for more campaigns immediately.
For sure.
I think it has to be in the contract from the beginning.
I don't know if it makes into a contract, but that business lead and that president has to go back immediately and be like, yo, we need this. We got to turn this into a storyline. Here's how we would do it, blah, blah, blah. And also like from a award standpoint, like you have to give me the opportunity to go present this as an award to continue to bring value to that, because agencies make dollars off winning awards, so there's X value brought to them every time they win an award. So like there has to be a two-way street. Like, yo, what's up? We got to be able to do this more, because imagine if they only did Cliff Paul one time. What?
See, but you have a great point. But like in her situation, they're still working with that agency today.
Yeah.
The problem is what happens when she doesn't want to work there anymore, right? So now the relationship between the CEOs, they love each other, right? But the person on the ground level who's actually executing, making sure all the right pieces and parts are in instinct to be successful, she's not getting nothing on the back end. And that's your creative intellectual property, but you sign it off when you go to an organization.
You go to your company. And I think like is great when companies value like the spot bonus and they create those spaces for you. But one thing that I realized that you always have to make sure that you are doing, and this is in personal brand development, is like you are not tied to one thing. Like if I created something once, I know that I can flip it again and do something else. It's just gonna come in a different wrapper. And being able to recognize like who I am without being tied to a McDonald's or Verizon or these brands, like that, I'm still learning that. But I don't speak what I learned is like my conversation about it is not who I am. That's just what I do. I'm more than a title. Like I'm more than just that guy.
You knew you wasn't getting away without the air horn on that. You knew you wasn't getting away with that shit.
But, you know what I mean? Like being able to recognize that is key to going on and moving on, because a chapter will close. It will end. Yes. So you have to be like, all right, bet I did that. Come up with something like that's the part of being who you are. It's like you're able to come up with things and like I don't know if she said she didn't get compensation on Flow, but like
she does. She's she's good in her career. It's just like the back, like a royalty or something. Like a perfect example. I feel what you're saying. Like that's what imagine Peter Gunn saying that, right? They get 0 royalties off of their biggest song, and you know what they thought? Probably I could make another one. This shit is hot as fish grease. Right. And sometimes you don't get that.
You always
does that make it right? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's related to the culture and the time of what you're doing. For example, right? Okay. You watched the movie's called Air, right? Air?
Yeah, Fire.
Right. Yep. It's Fire, but what it brought awareness to is that his deal was unheard of. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? Yeah, you got the sneaker. We don't want the sneaker. The sneaker's just a sneaker till my son puts it on, right? Yeah. We want residuals forever. You see that piece right there?
Shout out to Mama Jordan.
Right, Mama, for being the visionary to even ask for that and stand on it and say, if we don't get it, we're not signing with you. But again, it was unheard of at that time, right?
It's unheard of, and this goes back to what you said earlier. It's like, because there have been people in front of me that have done things like the Cliff and the Flow and things like that. Now when I look at them, and even though I may not know the deals of their the deal points on their contracts or what they work on, I at least know, okay, if I'm in the midst of creating something dope, I need to think about how I keep going, how I create the new space for people that are creating like this in the blue water, and be like, oh no, we need residuals if this goes crazy on the business side. Like again, that's different conversations. You got to be prepared for them. You got to go learn. You got to understand contracts as a lawyer. Like, you don't need to be a lawyer. You can get one. But being able to read legal contracts and know how those things work is how you're able to do that. And we're not just taking what's in front of us. Like now I know there's something on the back end that can be made. I just got to create the formation for that.
Gotcha.
That's it, man.
Gotcha.
I know we coming. I know I got my last question for you, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, what other advice? What advice would you give to the 21-year-old version of you, bro? What is something that you want professionals to hear from your story or take from to help them be successful?
Man, one, check that ego. It's always gonna climb on you, and it's always gonna be around. But check it and know how to use it and put it in perspective. The second thing is like when you're at let's say you get a gig and you're at a company, like always connect across and always connect up. And what I'm saying by that is like if you check my calendar right now, it'll say Marcus and ex-employee bi-weekly. And I don't do, I just get on, we chop it up, we talk, but I'm building trust in relationships because there's going to be a moment in a pivotal presentation that I got to say something that you got to back me up on, or I need you to do something at a late hour. Like right now it's 7:12. If some of the people that I work with on a consistent basis call me right now and be like, Marcus, we need you to do something. Bet, because we built this relationship. Right. So creating this line of communication, especially in a remote first space of bi-weeklies, and make them valuable. And it's okay to cancel them, but put them on the calendars. And what I've done is also change the name. Like I don't say connect. I got one coworker, we call it plug talk. I got another coworker, we call it like just checking the vibes. And like I create that. Gotcha. So now, even when I travel into New York, I go to the office and they're there. We have a connection there that we've continued to build on. Gotcha. So those things are super important. And I do it with my leadership team, like monthly. Gotcha. Now, it's hard to get on their calendar. If they move it, they move it. But I'm on there and they see, oh, I got a meeting with Marcus today for 30 minutes or 25 minutes as a check-in. I share an idea or something, or just ask about their regular life. That's trust. And I give that away because you can't take that from me. Like tomorrow, they're not going to be like, oh, we don't want to meet with you. But the people that are trying to figure out how to move fast in a company, it's the simple things like that no one else is doing, because it's all about conversations and learning how to push through awkwardness.
School is in session. That was the 8th period bell right there. Wait, baby.
Yeah,
I got one more for you, Mark. I got one more for you, right? So and this is a little personal, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we stand on this, so I just want to know your point on it, right? We believe in building generational wealth. So you came from a mother-father environment. They raised you, and you're doing well. Are you a family man now? What's your thoughts on, having a family if you're not a family man now? When does Marcus settle down and start that if you're not a family man now?
I'm not a family man now, but it's definitely a vision that I have for myself. And also realizing what it takes in preparation to make that happen. And what I'm saying is basically like the journey in New York and then the journey here to DC, like those are things that are going to equip me to be prepared to have a family. And it's super important for me, like, because the way the world is set up, I have to be readily available for my family. Right. Meaning like, is it PTA Thursdays? Yeah. I'm gonna be PTA club dad. Like,
facts. Right.
I'm at the soccer games. Like, I'm there. I'm present. I'm bringing value. I'm home at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock for dinner, because that's what I saw. And but I also realized that I have to be able to have my partner be able to balance things off each other. There are gonna be moments where he is. She's required to be heavily at work, and that I'm focused to be at home. And I need a job and a career that I'm able to do that. And I have that right now. Right. And so that's super valuable to me, is being able to move around like that from a work standpoint. So
I love it.
Definitely.
And I bring it up because I have to say this to you, right? You have too much knowledge to let it go to waste. Yeah. You have too much experience to let it go to waste. You know what I mean? The way that we pass on our life experiences and help our culture grow is through generational wealth building, right? Pass it on to your seed. And if you don't, then maybe you got a little cousin, or you know what I'm saying, or a niece or
nephew,
somebody,
anybody.
somebody, Marcus, somebody needs to benefit from the things that you have done because they are looking for that mentor that you had when you were 8 years old. You know, like life is always a cycle, man.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, like and I said it earlier, but like my friends that they have children, like when it's back to school or whatever, like if I call a friend and the friends I was in college and they had like kids at that time, like I still see them, and now they're juniors or freshmen. It's like, oh man, do I need to contribute to one of their programs, or here go your money for Christmas? Like I'm that kind of person because my sister doesn't have kids at this time either. So that is how I build out, but at the same time, like definitely generational wealth. If I'm blessed to have children, that's definitely something I will be super focused on and aware of and present.
Absolutely, man.
Amazing.
Until that, my boy's outside.
Hold on. See, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to get you in trouble. It might be somebody watching. It's like, what you mean you outside?
He may or may not be going to do something.
Look, because DC got couches too, goddammit.
I go outside for entertainment of sports, music,
the political answer. I'm a God-fearing man. We appreciated you, Mark. Well, listen, let the people know where they can find you, man, because like I said, you have just way too much knowledge and education and experience to let this go to waste. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Across all socials, Marcus D. Gilmore on Instagram, YouTube. You can find me. I post a lot of content there. LinkedIn. Don't reach out, send me a message, connect with me on there, and that's where I am across everything except on TikTok. I kick moves on TikTok because I messed up my branding there and I can't fix it. It is what it is.
Marcus, reach out to whoever got your name and throw them the bag and listen, do a little something to get that name back.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But man, definitely on socials, and you definitely can reach out to me there. And my email is present as well. I'll be taking consulting clients in the new year in 2024. Right now it's closed off. I already have my clients for the fall, but those brands that are looking for that opportunity and consulting moments, like I'm there as well.
There you have it.
Man. I just want to tell you, man, brother to brother, man. I like I said, I'm a fan of yours, brother, and I appreciate everything that you're doing for the space, for the culture. I see you doing great things in the future, brother, and I'm gonna extend the invite that we do everybody, brother. When you come back to New York City, you text us, whatever you want to do, we got you.
He's not. We're not going to eat. We're going to West 4th or we're going to Rucker Park. And I gotta see something.
I gotta. Wait, hold on.
Pause. He paused. I said pause, nigga.
There you go.
I gotta see nothing.
So what's crazy is that their show, like, believe it or not, is really dope. Like,
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And 3 years from now, it's gonna take over ESPN.
No, absolutely, they're gonna dominate.
There will be a segment where they're like cutting the maze, like,
yeah,
bro. What I love about a lot of the music in Artist Town, you see Gilly the Kid, Gilly.
Gilly.
Gilly's going crazy. Gilly's going crazy. Yeah,
Gilly goes crazy.
Yeah, Gilly goes crazy.
This Saturday, I'm gonna go to the Big Three that it's here in DC.
Ice-T's thing, right?
No,
Ice Cube. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go, and Gilly is actually playing in the celebrity game.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna see
That's
that.
Dope.
That's dope, man. Shout out to Gilly and shout out to all the creators that's moving the culture forward. Shout out to the people that had a certain career and wasn't afraid to pivot and excelling. I love to see that shit, man. So shout out to all of y'all because y'all inspired me. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure, Joey, all of y'all, man. And shout out to you, brother. Like I said, I want to see more of you, man. We're gonna rock out, man. But like we're fans, anything we could do to help you, we're on deck. Shout out to everybody in the chats, man. Y'all see y'all rocking out, man. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to everybody on the YouTube. Sorry, we can't see you. Shout out to Hayes. And you already know, next week, y'all, we got a great episode. What's up?
I was about to say, don't forget about next week.
Next week. No, we got my boy. We got from Math Hoffa's Expert Opinion Show. We got co-host Champ coming through.
Champ is coming through. Listen, our first live, what do we call it? Interview?
Live
show, live in person pod. Champ from Expert Opinion. Yeah,
be dope.
yeah. So we're gonna see how that
bro.
works.
So we
Hey,
gonna
listen,
drop
Marcus,
that next
I want to salute you, man, because
I was gonna
again,
say, where's that live show at?
we're gonna be downtown. It's gonna be in the studio.
Okay.
we're doing it from a studio on we got
Just
one
to
on
give it a
39th.
different look for this, but it's still gonna launch like this.
Yeah.
Bet.
But I just want to tell you this, man, because even though you didn't say the word, the work ethic, the hard work, you continually saying that you started over from interns and worked your way up. It reinforces the hard work ethic. Hard work pays off, right? Hard work beats talent every single day. And I'm glad that you reiterated that so many times, because there's so many people that are so talented that are gonna listen to your message and you're gonna inspire them to keep moving forward. So I just want to salute you for that, brother. We appreciate you.
Love, man.
Yes, sir.
That, man. You already know, man. Shout out to everybody on the check-in. We're gonna see y'all next week, man. Thank you for another great
My
episode.
birthday, baby. We going to drink.
Happy birthday, homie. For me? Yeah. Happy birthday, homeboy. For me?
I'm 44, man.
Man. Wow.
I'm 44.
Bless it, man. That's my bro. That's my
I'm
guy.
44. And I'm blessed to be here because they said a lot of people said I wouldn't make it to 18.
Was a fact, man.
That was actually
nickname was Bad Chad.
Bad Chad, yeah. It was a running bet. Yeah, it was a running bet. I wouldn't make it to see 18. So, you know,
You're here now, bro.
yeah, birthdays to me is like bonuses.
You already know, man. And we outside tonight, so
We
y'all
outside.
catch us outside tonight. Show us love like y'all normally
And if
do,
I'm
man.
stumbling, and if I'm drunk, I'm telling you right now, you might see me drunk, you might see Jarrett drunk, and if you see, wait, and you might see us drunk, and you might see this face. So, like, we like to thank our fans for coming out. This has been another episode of More Than the Title. Marcus, we coming down to DC in about 2 weeks, brother. I'm definitely going to link up with you, even if we shoot something around, need some content. I need to see if you got it. I ain't even going to...
Pause.
And we're gonna end it off on
You ended up on that. We out of here.
We out of here.
But you know